Have you ever been woken up at 3 a.m. by that terrifying, wet, bubbling sound of an upset dog's stomach, only to jump out of bed and find a horrible mess right in the middle of your living room rug? If you own a dog, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You see them trembling with their tail tucked, looking up at you with those guilty, apologetic eyes, and the helpless panic instantly sets in. You just want to fix their churning stomach right now. So, what is the very first thing you do? You do exactly what the internet and old-school vets have told you to do for the last 40 years. You rush to the kitchen, pull out a pot, and boil plain white rice and a chicken breast. But what if I told you that the famous chicken and rice diet is the biggest myth in pet care? What if I told you that feeding your dog white rice and chicken is actually feeding the bad bacteria, causing more inflammation, and making the diarrhea last days longer than it needs to? If you saw the title of this video, you saw the promise. Today, I am going to teach you how to throw away the chicken and rice forever, and how adding just one magical, inexpensive teaspoon of a simple pantry ingredient can halt your dog's diarrhea and coat their stomach entirely naturally. We must dismantle the biggest lie in canine nutrition. We need to talk about the chicken and rice myth. When your dog's stomach is exploding, human logic takes over. When a human has the stomach flu, we eat bland things, right? Saltine crackers, white toast, and white rice. So, we assume it works for the dog. But dogs are not humans. Their digestive biology is entirely different. Let's break down exactly what happens when you feed a sick dog a giant bowl of white rice. When a dog has diarrhea, their intestinal tract is incredibly inflamed. The lining of their gut is red, irritated, and highly sensitive. At that exact moment, the gut is completely overrun by an overgrowth of bad pathogenic bacteria. White rice is a highly processed, high-glycemic, simple carbohydrate. The second it hits your dog's highly acidic stomach, it immediately breaks down into pure glucose, sugar. I want you to think about this logically. What do pathogenic bad bacteria absolutely love to eat to multiply and survive? Sugar. When you feed an inflamed, sick dog a massive bowl of sugary white rice, you are throwing a buffet party for the exact bad bacteria that is causing the diarrhea. You are literally feeding the infection. Furthermore, white rice has a very bizarre effect on the canine colon. Because an inflamed gut moves so rapidly, many dogs do not even digest the rice. You will often see the white grains pass straight through their stool entirely whole. It absorbs almost no water and does absolutely nothing to firm up the stool. Now, let's talk about the second half of that meal, the boiled chicken. Chicken is considered a bland, easy-to-digest protein for humans, but in the veterinary dermatology and allergy world, we know an incredibly stubborn fact. Chicken is consistently ranked as the #1 or #2 food allergen for all domestic dogs. When your dog has severe diarrhea, the microscopic barriers in their intestinal walls actually crack open. We call this leaky gut. The barrier that separates their digestive tract from their bloodstream is severely compromised. If your dog has even a microscopic mild intolerance to chicken protein, and you feed it to them while their gut is leaky, that chicken protein floods directly through those cracks and into the bloodstream. The immune system spots it, freaks out, and triggers a massive systemic inflammatory response. So, by feeding chicken and white rice, you are potentially triggering a severe allergic immune response while simultaneously feeding pure sugar to the bad bacteria. This is why your dog has diarrhea for 5 days straight on a chicken and rice diet. We have to stop doing this. If your dog wakes up in the middle of the night and completely evacuates their bowels, their body is trying to tell you something. The diarrhea is not the disease, it is the symptom. The body has recognized a toxin, a bad bacteria, or an irritant, and it is violently flushing it out of the system. The absolute best thing you can do for an adult dog in the first 12 to 24 hours of diarrhea is to simply get out of the body's way. When humans get severe food poisoning, do we go cook a giant 3-course meal? Absolutely not. Just the thought of food makes us nauseous. The gastrointestinal tract requires an immense amount of blood flow and energy to digest solid food. If the gut is fighting an infection, it needs that energy to heal, not to break down lunch. I want you to fast your dog. Remove their food bowl entirely. Do not give them a single kibble, treat, or bone for a strict 12 to 24 hours. Let their bowel completely empty out and rest. Now, please listen to me very carefully. I have a massive vet warning here. Fasting is incredibly safe and highly beneficial for a normal, healthy adult dog. But you must never fast a young puppy under 6 months old. You must never fast a tiny toy breed like a teacup Yorkie or a Chihuahua. And you must never fast a dog diagnosed with diabetes. These specific dogs cannot regulate their blood sugar safely, and withholding food can cause them to crash into life-threatening hypoglycemia. For these special dogs, you must always consult your vet immediately. But for your standard, otherwise healthy adult dog, let the stomach rest. During this 12-hour fast, we have one massive, non-negotiable rule: hydration. When a dog has explosive liquid diarrhea, they are losing dangerous amounts of fluids and critical electrolytes. Dehydration is actually the thing that will land your dog in the emergency room on an IV drip, not the diarrhea itself. While they are fasting from solid food, you must heavily encourage them to drink. But what if they feel too sick to drink plain water? This is where you use my favorite holistic hydration secret: pure bone broth. Bone broth is absolute liquid gold. It is packed with incredibly rich minerals, collagen, and amino acids that literally coat and rebuild the cracked intestinal walls of a leaky gut. Because it is a liquid, it requires exactly 0 digestive effort from the stomach. It absorbs straight into the body, intensely rehydrating them and replacing the lost electrolytes while their bowel continues to rest. Just take a cup of warm, not hot bone broth and offer it to them. The rich, meaty smell will tempt almost any sick dog to drink it. Just a vital, holistic reminder: you absolutely cannot buy pre-made human bone broth or chicken broth from the soup aisle at your local grocery store. It is heavily seasoned with onions and garlic, both of which are highly toxic to dogs and will destroy their red blood cells. You must use dog-safe, pet-specific bone broth or easily boil some plain, unseasoned bones in your slow cooker at home. It has been 12 to 14 hours. The dog's stomach has rested. They haven't had an accident on the rug all afternoon. The bowel is quiet. Now we have to start feeding them again to firm up their stool. When we introduce food back into an inflamed gut, we need a bland protein that is not chicken or beef. My favorite holistic choices for a sick dog are boiled ultra-lean ground turkey, or even better, simple baked white fish, like cod or tilapia. Fish is incredibly gentle on the stomach and totally novel to most immune systems, but protein alone won't fix the liquid stool. This is where we go into your kitchen pantry to find the ultimate title of this video: the 1 teaspoon miracle. My absolute secret for dog diarrhea is 100% pure pumpkin puree. Pumpkin is an absolute superhero in veterinary medicine. The reason pumpkin works 10 times better than white rice is because pumpkin is profoundly rich in soluble fiber. Okay, let me explain exactly how soluble fiber acts in the body. When a dog has diarrhea, the large intestine, the colon, has stopped absorbing water from the waste. so pure liquid just shoots right out. When you feed your dog a teaspoon of pure pumpkin puree, that soluble fiber travels down into the colon and it acts exactly like a dry, magical kitchen sponge. It rapidly absorbs all of the excess free-floating liquid inside the intestines. It pulls the water into itself, expanding to create a thick, heavy gel. This gel perfectly binds the waste together, miraculously transforming pure liquid diarrhea into a solid, healthy, firm stool. But pumpkin does something even more incredible. Pumpkin is a prebiotic. That means it selectively feeds the good bacteria in your dog's gut, while literally lowering the pH of the intestines to starve out the bad bacteria. You are literally arming their immune system while fixing the mess on the rug. Here is how you use it. For a small dog under 15 lb, just mix 1 TDSP of pure pumpkin into their bland turkey or fish. For a medium dog, use about 1 to 2 TBSP. And for a large or giant breed, they can handle 3 to 4 TBSP. But please, make an absolute mental note right now. You must check the label on the can. You want 100% pure pumpkin. You do not want pumpkin pie filling. Pumpkin pie filling is packed with nutmeg, cinnamon, and toxic artificial sugars that will send your dog straight to the emergency room. Now, pumpkin is incredible, but what if your dog's diarrhea is so violent that they are crying in pain? Or maybe you see a thick layer of slimy mucus surrounding the stool. That means the colon is severely irritated and physically spasming. For this, I use a legendary holistic herb. We need to talk about slippery elm bark. Slippery elm bark powder is a native North American herbal remedy that you can find at almost any health food store or online. In the holistic veterinary community, we consider slippery elm to be nature's perfect medicine for gastrointestinal pain. Here is the biology of why it is so miraculous. The inner bark of the slippery elm tree contains a complex carbohydrate substance called mucilage. When you mix this dry bark powder with warm water, something incredible happens. It transforms into a thick, slippery, lubricating syrup. When your sick dog swallows this syrup, it travels down their throat, through their stomach, and into their burning, inflamed intestines. The mucilage literally coats the entire lining of the digestive tract in a soothing, cooling, thick, protective film. It acts like an internal bandage. It instantly stops the burning pain of stomach acid. It halts the intense colon spasms that cause the explosive diarrhea, and it coats microscopic ulcers. It is, quite literally, a natural, holistic version of Pepto-Bismol with absolutely zero chemical side effects. To use it, you mix a 1/4 teaspoon of the slippery elm bark powder with a tiny splash of warm water or bone broth for every 10 milliliters your dog weighs. Mix it until it forms that slippery syrup, and let your dog lick it right out of the bowl. But listen closely, because this is a vital medical rule. Because slippery elm creates a physical coating over the stomach wall, it will also physically block the stomach from absorbing other medications. If your dog takes a daily prescription pill for their heart, their thyroid, or seizures, you must wait at least 2 hours after their medication before you give them slippery elm. Otherwise, the medicine will just pass right through them unabsorbed. We are doing some incredible veterinary healing right now. The fasting, the bone broth, the pumpkin sponge, and the slippery elm bandage. If you do these things within 24 to 48 hours, your dog's stool should return to a beautiful, solid consistency. But my friends, the journey does not stop there. The diarrhea is gone, but the aftermath of a digestive explosion leaves your dog's internal ecosystem completely destroyed. I want you to think of your dog's gut microbiome like a beautiful, lush garden filled with good flowers and good bacteria. When your dog gets severe diarrhea, it is like a hurricane just ripped through that garden. Everything gets flushed out. the bad bacteria, but also the good bacteria. If you just go back to feeding them normal dry kibble immediately after a bout of diarrhea, their empty, unprotected gut will struggle, and the diarrhea will often relapse 3 days later. So, we have to replant the garden. We have to send in an army of good bacteria. For the next 7 to 10 days after the diarrhea stops, you must aggressively add probiotics to their meals. You can use a high-quality canine-specific probiotic powder or capsule. Specifically, look for a probiotic that contains a very special beneficial yeast called Saccharomyces boulardii. In clinical veterinary studies, this specific miraculous strain of yeast has been proven to aggressively hunt down and eliminate the specific pathogenic bacteria that cause acute diarrhea in dogs. It is a microscopic terminator that fights for your dog's gut health. If you cannot afford a high-end canine probiotic, do not worry. Just go back to the kitchen and grab 100% plain, unsweetened milk kefir. Kefir is a fermented milk drink that is naturally packed with up to 30 different strains of live beneficial bacteria and yeast. Just 1 or 2 spoonfuls over their meals will coat their intestinal walls, outcompete any lingering bad bacteria, and build their immune system back up to peak condition. And remember our golden rule from past videos: check the yogurt or kefir label twice. Ensure there is absolutely zero xylitol or birch sugar in the ingredients. We only want pure, plain, unsweetened fermentation. All right, my friends, we are coming to the most critical chapter of this entire master class. I have taught you how to cure a standard upset stomach entirely at home for pennies. But as a veterinarian who cares about your dog's life, I have a profound responsibility to give you the hard truth. You must know when a kitchen remedy is dangerous and when the diarrhea is actually a deadly, time-sensitive emergency. If you see any of the following signs, I want you to put down the pumpkin, grab your car keys, and drive to your local veterinary clinic immediately. Red flag number 1: extreme dehydration. I told you earlier that fluid loss is deadly. You can perform a simple vet trick at home right now called the skin turgor test. Gently grab the loose skin on the back of your dog's neck, pull it up slightly like a tent, and let it go. In a healthy, hydrated dog, that skin should snap instantly back flat against the muscle, like a rubber band. If you pull the skin up, let go, and the skin stays stuck in that tented shape, or melts back down in excruciating slow motion, your dog is dangerously dehydrated. They do not have enough water in their tissues. Now, lift their lip and touch their gums with your finger. If the gums are pale pink and feel sticky or dry like sandpaper rather than wet and slippery, they are critically dehydrated and need intravenous IV fluids from a vet immediately to save their kidneys from shutting down. Red flag number 2: the blood warning. Not all diarrhea is created equal. I need you to actually look at what your dog leaves on the rug. If you see bright, vibrant red blood mixed with slimy mucus, do not panic instantly. This is called hematochezia, and usually just means the very end of their large intestine is highly irritated from the severe colon spasms. It is scary to see, but rarely life-threatening on its own. However, if your dog produces diarrhea that is pitch black, dark, and looks exactly like sticky black road tar, or smells like metallic rust, you have a massive, absolute emergency on your hands. This is called melena. Black, tarry stool means there is active, heavy digested blood coming from an exploded ulcer, or a severe bleed high up in the stomach or the upper intestines. This is a life-threatening hemorrhage, and you must rush them to the hospital right now. Red flag number 3: the both ends danger. If your dog has diarrhea, but they are also violently vomiting, and absolutely nothing is staying down, not even the bone broth. You are no longer dealing with a simple stomach bug. When a dog is blowing out of both ends uncontrollably, and they look profoundly exhausted, lethargic, and weak, they might be dealing with parvovirus, a severe case of hemorrhagic gastroenteritis, HGE, or they may have physically swallowed a toy, a sock, or a rock that has created a deadly bowel obstruction. If a dog has a physical blockage in their intestines, all the pumpkin in the world won't save them. Only an X-ray and a surgeon can. Please, always trust your gut. If your intuition says your dog is in immense, serious trouble, never hesitate to consult a professional veterinarian. Wow! You did incredible today! We went from the midnight panic on the living room rug all the way to understanding the microscopic mechanics of the gut. You know the truth now. You know why boiling chicken and white rice is just feeding sugar and allergens into an inflamed body. You know to fast them to let the body heal. You know how to hydrate them with pure bone broth. You know how to act like a professional holistic healer by using the absorbent magic of pure pumpkin, the soothing coating bandage of slippery elm bark, and how to aggressively replant their immune system with probiotics and kefir. Handling a sick dog is scary. It requires you to clean up terrible messes, sacrifice your sleep, and act as a nurse to a patient who cannot even tell you where it hurts. But by taking 30 minutes out of your day to sit here, take notes, and deeply understand the digestive biology of the animal you love so much, you are proving that you are an absolutely extraordinary pet parent. When you know the medical science, the fear vanishes. The panic stops. You are empowered. You are exactly the protector your dog believes you are. If this masterclass eased your anxiety today, and you are ready to throw away the chicken and rice forever, please hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our deep dives into your pet's health. We are uncovering the science that helps your best friends live longer, healthier lives. Let's protect their future together. The next essential guide will be available soon.